Welcome back to channel Topcoin. Have you ever wondered if a single penny could change your life? What if I told you that a small, copper-colored coin from 1970 could be worth thousands of dollars today? Yes, you heard that right. Not a dollar, not 100, but thousands. Stay with me, because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1970 United States 1-cent coin. A coin that might just be sitting in your piggy bank, your drawer, or even lost under your car seat, waiting to make you rich. The year was 1970. America was in the middle of historical change. The Vietnam War raged on, the Beatles broke up, and the first Earth Day was celebrated. In this time of transformation, a modest copper coin was quietly struck by the United States Mint, the 1970 Lincoln cent. At first glance, it looked just like any other penny, with Abraham Lincoln's timeless profile on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial proudly standing on the reverse. But here's the twist. Not all 1970 pennies were created equal. Some of them, due to rare errors, limited mintages, and unique characteristics, have become legendary treasures in the numismatic world. So, what makes this ordinary-looking coin so special? Let's dig into the history, the variations, the errors, and the current market value of this incredible 1-cent piece. First things first. The 1970 Lincoln cent was minted in 3 major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The most common of the bunch were struck in Philadelphia and Denver. However, the real star of the show is the 1970s Lincoln cent, especially the small date variety. Yes, that's right. In 1970, the San Francisco Mint produced 2 different date styles on the coin, the large date and the small date. They might look almost identical to the untrained eye, but to collectors, that tiny difference can mean big money. Here's how you can tell the difference. On the small date 1970 penny, the tops of the numbers are more level, and the number 7 sits higher than the rest of the digits. On the large date, the numbers appear a bit more bunched together, and the 7 aligns more evenly. It may seem subtle, but this small design variation created a massive stir among collectors. Why? Because the small date 1970 coin is much rarer, and in pristine condition. It's a golden ticket, or should I say a copper ticket, to fortune. So, how much is this tiny treasure actually worth? Well, if you happen to own a 1970s small date penny in mint state condition, you're in for a shock depending on its grade. Collectors have paid anywhere from $500 to over $3,000 for a single coin, and that's just the beginning. If the coin is graded MS67 red, which means it's nearly flawless and has retained its brilliant red copper luster, you could be looking at a value upwards of $5,000 or even more at auction. Now imagine finding one of those in your change jar. But wait, the excitement doesn't stop there. There's another version of the 1970 penny that's even more elusive, the 1970s proof Lincoln cent with a double die obverse. In this coin, the date and the word liberty appear double due to a minting error. This error is incredibly rare and highly sought after. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, especially in a high-proof grade, the value can soar to over $10,000. Yes, $10,000 for a penny. Let me take you into the world of numismatic auctions. In recent years, well-preserved 1970s small date pennies have consistently broken expectations. In one famous case, a pristine example sold for over $18,000 at heritage auctions. That's more than the price of a used car, or even a small family vacation for a penny. So now you might be wondering, how do I find one? Where should I look? Here's the good news, many of these coins are still in circulation. Check your old coin rolls, your grandparents' coin jars, your bank-sourced penny rolls. It's like treasure hunting, and every search brings a thrill of possibility. Maximize your chances. Focus on pennies minted in San Francisco. Look for that tiny cest mint mark just below the date on the front of the coin. Then carefully examine the date style and check for any signs of doubling. Confirm what you've got. You might need a 10x magnifier, and if you suspect you've found something valuable, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin, giving it official status and significantly increasing its market value. Let's do a quick recap of the potential value of 1970s small date penny in average circulated condition, around $50 to $100 in mint state condition, MS65 or higher $500 to $3,000 in MS67 red, up to $5,000 or more proof 1970s double die obverse, high grade over $10,000 auction record for top specimen, $18,000 plus. And the best part? you could be holding one of these in your hands right now. Coins are more than just money, they are snapshots of history, tiny time machines made of copper, zinc, and nickel. The 1970 penny tells a story of a divided nation, of evolving artistry, and of accidental rarity, and that's what makes coin collecting so special. So the next time you receive change at the store, don't just toss those pennies aside, look closely. Inspect the dates. Examine the mint marks, because hidden in that handful of change might just be a small piece of history, and a fortune in disguise. If you found this video fascinating, give it a like and share it with your friends. Who knows, maybe they have a 1970 treasure they've been overlooking. Subscribe for more amazing coin stories, historical deep dives, and real-world treasure hunts, and drop a comment below. Do you have a 1970 penny in your collection? Let's talk coins. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next penny be priceless. If you're a coin lover, a treasure hunter, or just someone who's curious about the value of everyday coins, you're going to love today's video. We're diving deep into the world of a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1986 1-cent coin from the United States of America. You may have seen it, maybe even tossed it into a jar without a second thought, but did you know that this coin could be worth way more than just 1 cent? In fact, some of these coins have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, and today, I'm going to tell you why. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about the 1986 Lincoln penny, from its fascinating history to its rare errors, and of course, how much it could be worth in today's market. Let's get into it. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1986 1-cent coin features one of the most iconic American figures, President Abraham Lincoln. His image has been on the penny since 1909, when the U.S. Mint decided to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That made it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person, and not a symbolic image like Liberty. Fast forward to 1986. This was a year when the United States was deep into the Reagan era. The economy was shifting, technology was advancing, and in the world of coins, subtle but important changes were happening. By 1982, the U.S. Mint had stopped using solid copper for the penny. Instead, they started making them with a zinc core coated in copper. That means the 1986 penny is made of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper. On the obverse, or front side, of the coin, you'll see the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right. The word Liberty is stamped to his left, and the date, 1986, is to his right. Just above his head, you'll see the famous motto, "In God We Trust." Flip the coin over and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. This design had been in place since 1959, replacing the earlier wheat ears that were originally on the back. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny representation of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. It's a beautiful piece of art on a coin that most people take for granted. The 1986 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your coin has a small letter D under the date, it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark at all, it came from Philadelphia. And if it has an S, that means it was struck in San Francisco, usually as a proof coin. Proof coins are made with a special minting process that gives them a mirror-like finish. These were not meant for everyday use and were often sold in collector sets. So if you've got a 1986 penny with an S mint mark and it's shiny and flawless, that's a proof coin, and it could be worth more, especially if it's graded and in pristine condition. Now let's talk about the juicy part: errors and varieties. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race. Some 1986 pennies have been found with double die errors. This means that the design was accidentally struck twice, and you can see doubled letters or numbers, especially in the word Liberty, the date, or In God We Trust. These are highly collectible and can fetch big money, depending on how visible the doubling is. Then there's the off-center strike error, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. The result is a coin that's partially blank or has a crescent missing from one side. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable it can be. Another type of error is the broad strike, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar. This can make the coin appear larger and flatter. While not as common, they're still worth looking out for, and perhaps the most dramatic error is the clipped planchette, a coin that is literally missing a chunk. These errors happened when the blank discs used to make coins overlap during the cutting process, leaving an incomplete coin. So if you've got a 1986 penny with any of these rare features, hold on to it. It could be a gold mine in your pocket. Now the big question: how much is a 1986 penny worth today? Well, that depends on a few key factors: condition, rarity, and whether it has any errors. A regular 1986 penny from Philadelphia or Denver that has been circulated, meaning it's been used in everyday transactions, is usually worth face value. Maybe 1 to 5 cents to collectors, especially if it's in very nice shape. But if you've got a mint state coin, that is, a coin that was never used, kept in pristine condition, with sharp details and no scratches, those can be worth much more. A graded MS-67 1986 AD penny, for example, has sold for over $400 at auction. A proof 1986 S penny in perfect condition can go for $10 to $30, and even more if graded highly by services like PCGS or NGC, but the real stars are the error coins. A double die error penny from 1986 can be worth anywhere from $50 to over $1,000, depending on how strong the doubling is. Off-center errors can range from $20 to over $150, and clip planches or broad strikes can also command significant prices from the right buyer. So how do you know if your coin is valuable? First, you'll need to examine it closely. Use a magnifying glass or even a jeweller's loupe. Check for doubling in the letters, look at the edges for unusual shapes, and note the condition of the coin. If you think you've got something special, it's worth getting it graded by a professional grading service. Yes, there's a cost involved, but it could turn a penny into a small fortune. You can also compare your coin to recent auction results online or on sites like eBay. Look at what similar coins are selling for, not just what they're listed at. The 1986 1-cent coin might look ordinary, but it carries a lot of history, and in the right condition, it could be worth a surprising amount of money. So before you toss that penny aside or drop it in a coin jar, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden gem in your pocket. Keep your eyes open for those rare errors, check those mint marks, and always handle your coins carefully if you think they might be valuable. And here's a bonus tip: start saving all your pre- or 1982 pennies. Those are made of solid copper and are worth more than 1 cent just for their metal content. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hidden treasures, and collecting tips, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future video. Have you found a rare 1986 penny? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories, and who knows, your coin might be featured in a future video. Until next time, keep collecting, keep hunting, and remember, even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. Before you toss that brown little coin back into your change jar, grab a magnifier. Your 1988 Lincoln cent might be hiding a secret that turns 1 cent into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In this video I will show you exactly which 1988 pennies are valuable, how to spot the rare reverse of 1989 variety, which mint marks to chase, what grades bring serious premiums, the biggest errors to look for, and the real-world market values as of July 2025. Stay with me to the end and I will also tell you how to sell your find the right way so you do not leave money on the table. Year 1988 Design Lincoln Memorial Reverse Designer Victor David Brenner on the obverse Frank Gasparo on the reverse Mints Philadelphia No mint mark Denver D mint mark San Francisco S proof only metal composition mostly zinc with a thin copper plating 97.5% zinc 2.5% copper weight about 2.5 grams key moneymaker varieties 1988 reverse of 1989. Also called RDV006. Strong double dies, major off-center strikes, wrong planchette strikes, high-grade red examples graded MS67 and above, and ultra-deep cameo proofs graded PR69 and PR70. Most 1980s zinc Lincoln cents are common and spendable. But 1988 has a famous transitional reverse variety. A small number of dies prepared for 1989 slipped into service during 1988. That means a 1988 coin was struck with a 1989 style reverse hub. Variety collectors pay a premium for that mismatch. Combine that with the fact that pristine red zinc cents are tough to keep spot-free for decades and you get a year where top pop coins and certain varieties can surprise you at auction. Philadelphia 1988 with no mint mark. Massive mintage and most are worth 1 cent in circulated grades. The big value comes from the reverse of 1989 variety and from ultra-high mint state grades red designation, Denver 1988 D. Also huge mintage. Same story. Common unless you have superb gem red or a dramatic error or the reverse of 1989 variety San Francisco 1988s proof only. These were sold to collectors, so most are high quality, but perfect 70 grade deep cameo coin still brings strong money. Circulated common 1988 P or D. 1 to 3 cents. Dealers usually pay face value. Brilliant uncirculated red MS63 to MS64. $2 to $5 gem red MS65. $5 to $20 premium gem red MS66. $20 to $80 top pop territory MS67 red. $100 to $400 depending on eye appeal and population, ultra elite MS67 plus or MS68 red if certified. $400 to several $1,000. Extremely rare .1988 reverse of 1989 variety in AU to MS63. $50 to $200 .1988 reverse of 1989 variety in MS65 red and better. $200 to over $1,000 depending on grade and demand. .1988s proof PR69 deep cameo. $10 to $30 .1988s proof PR70 deep cameo. $100 to $400, sometimes higher if populations remain low. Major errors off-center over 50% with full date, double strikes, broad strikes, wrong planchette strikes like on a dime planchette. $50 to many hundreds depending on severity and grade. Important note: values shift with population reports and auction results. Always cross-check with recent sales from major auction houses or price guides before you sell. Grab a 10x loop or a macro camera. Flip to the reverse. You are hunting for the 1989 style lettering and designer initials. Focus on these diagnostics. The letters G in the word God and the letters in the word America look slightly different. The spacing and serifs are sharper on the 1989 design. Look at the designer initials FG to the right of the memorial. On the 1989 reverse, the G is more open and the initials sit closer to the memorial building. On the normal 1988 reverse, the initials are slightly farther and differently shaped compared to a known 1989 cent if you have one. If your 1988 reverse looks just like the 1989 reverse, you may have the valuable variety. If you think you have it, do not clean it. Set it aside in a safe flip and consider certification. Lincoln cents are graded on a 70-point Sheldon scale. The key for modern zinc cents is eye appeal and color. Color codes BN brown. Least valuable .RB red brown. Mid-tier .road red. Bright original mint red. Brings the most money. Surface problems kill value. Carbon spots, plating bubbles, scratches, fingerprints, PVC damage and cleaning hairlines all / premiums for business strikes. Gem means MS65 or higher. Top pop means tied or best known grade in population reports. That is where 4-figure numbers are possible. For proofs, deep cameo mirrors and heavy frost are mandatory to reach top dollars. PR70 deep cameo is the holy grail for the proof of this year. Reverse of 1989 transitional reverse, both P and D double die obverse with strong spread on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date double die reverse with spread on United States of America, or E pluribus unum repunched mint mark on Denver issues where the D shows extra outlines off center strikes especially dramatic and still showing the full date broad strikes without the rim clip planchets with a crescent missing struck on wrong planchette. For example, on a dime planchette, resulting in a thinner, lighter coin, and weak design at the rim's die clashes where Lincoln's profile is echoed on the reverse cuds, large raised blobs at the rim from broken dies. Good light. LED desk lamp works fine. A loop with 10 times to 20 times magnification, digital scale accurate to hundredths of a gram. Wrong planchette weight stand out, calipers to confirm diameter, variety attribution guides like the community-run copper cent reference sites and the major grading services, variety finders, soft flips or capsules to store anything promising. Touch the edges only. Certify if you have a suspected reverse of 1989 variety in high grade A proof that looks perfect. Deep cameo, possibly PR70 a mint state coin that appears MS66 red or better. A dramatic error that is clearly valuable. Skip certification if the coin is circulated and common or if the value after grading fees would still be under $50. In that case, sell raw to a collector or keep it for fun. Major auction houses for coins with 4-figure potential or top pop grade eBay or specialized Facebook groups for mid-range pieces, but make sure you know how to photograph properly and disclose all issues. Local coin shops for quick sales, but expect wholesale prices. Coin shows where you can walk the floor, show to multiple dealers, and take the best offer. Collectors continue to chase high-grade registry coins, which keeps MS67 red and above strong. Transitional reverse varieties remain popular. Zinc corrosion issues mean that truly pristine red coins keep getting rarer over time, supporting premiums for top-graded examples. Proof 70s remain volatile and can swing a lot depending on how many new perfect coins are certified. Error collecting stays hot, especially big visual mistakes like off-center and double strikes. Myth: every old-looking penny is valuable. Truth: condition, variety, and rarity matter more than age for modern coins. Myth: all 1988 pennies with a weird look are errors. Truth: many are just damaged or corroded zinc. Myth: cleaning makes it look better so it will sell for more. Truth: cleaning almost always destroys value. Leave it as is. Date: 1988. Mint mark: none. D or S. Proof: look for reverse of 1989. Diagnostics: check color. Red brings the most. Scan for major doubling and big errors. If it looks like a winner, compare recent auction sales, then submit to a top grading service. A collector pulled a seemingly ordinary late 1980s penny from a bank-wrapped roll. Under magnification, it matched the reverse of 1989 diagnostics. He sent it in, it came back mint state red high grade, and it sold for many hundreds of dollars. Stories like that keep roll hunters searching. Yours could be next. So the next time you see 1988 on a penny, slow down. Check that reverse. Check the color. Look for dramatic errors. You might be holding a tiny zinc disc that pays for your next vacation. If you learned something new today, hit like, subscribe for more coin hunting guides, and tell me in the comments what year you want me to break down next. Drop a yes if you want a full visual side-by-side guide to the reverse of 1989 diagnostics, and I will make it happen. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that has ever slipped through fingers unnoticed, the 1992 United States 1-cent coin. That's right, the humble Lincoln penny from 1992. But don't let the small size fool you, because this coin could be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. If you have a jar of pennies lying around, or maybe a few stuck in your car's cup holder or hidden in the sofa, you might be sitting on a rare fortune without even knowing it. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why some 1992 pennies are shockingly valuable, what makes them rare, and how to spot the ones that collectors are going crazy for. Let's begin our deep dive into the 1992 Lincoln penny, a coin with a surprising twist in its history that could make you a small fortune. Now first, let's talk a little about the background. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, first issued to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first US coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure like Liberty. That made it historic right from the start. Fast forward to 1992, most people didn't think twice about their change. The penny looked pretty much the same for decades. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1992, something strange happened at the United States Mint due to a transitional error, a simple mistake during the production process. A small number of 1992 pennies were struck using a reverse design that didn't match the intended year. This rare version is known as the 1992 Close AM penny. And it's the reason collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars for what looks like an ordinary coin. Let's break it down simply. On the reverse side of the penny, the tail side, you'll see the words United States of America arched across the top, and under that, you'll find the words 1 cent, and just beneath it, E pluribus unum. But what we're focusing on today is the word America. On most 1992 pennies, the letters A and M in America are spaced apart. That's known as the wide AM, which was the normal design for that year. However, on a small number of 1992 pennies, the A and M are very close together, almost touching. This is the close AM variety. And it's very rare. The close AM reverse design wasn't actually meant to be used until 1993, but somehow, and this is where the mystery deepens, some of the 1992 coins were struck using the 1993 reverse die by mistake, and just like that, an error was born, a minting mistake that today is considered one of the most exciting varieties in modern US coin history. Now you might be wondering, how many of these rare close AM pennies are actually out there? The answer Extremely few, fewer than 20. Examples of the 1992 close AM penny from the Philadelphia Mint have been discovered so far. And only a handful of 1992 AD close AM pennies, the ones minted in Denver, are known to exist. That makes them incredibly scarce, and because of their rarity, collectors are constantly hunting for them. To put it simply, this is a classic case of supply and demand. With so few coins available and so many collectors eager to own one, the prices have skyrocketed. Alright, time for the question everyone's been waiting for. How much is a 1992 close AM penny worth today? Here's where things get jaw-dropping. In 2012, a 1992 close AM penny graded MS67 red, that means it was in near perfect mint condition, sold at auction for over $20,000. That's right, 0.1 penny, 0.1 cent, sold for over $20,000. More recently, other examples in lower grades have still fetched between $1,000 and $5,000, depending on the condition and market demand. The 1992 AD close AM, being even rarer, is considered a holy grail by some collectors. If you find one of those, you're looking at a coin worth tens of thousands, possibly more if it's in mint state. So, how can you check your pennies? Here's exactly what to do. Grab a magnifying glass or a coin microscope. You'll need it to really see the detail. Flip your 1992 penny over to the reverse side. Look closely at the word America. If the A and M are touching or nearly touching, you may have a close AM. Check the condition of the coin. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. Compare your coin to high-resolution photos online or consult a professional grading service. If you think you've found one, it's worth getting it authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in grading could turn your penny into a huge payday. Why do these coins keep going up in value? It's simple. As more collectors enter the hobby and more of these rare varieties get locked into private collections, the availability shrinks. Combine that with the fact that these coins were never supposed to exist, and you have a recipe for a long-term value increase. In fact, coin collecting, especially error varieties and die varieties, has exploded in popularity over the last few years. Online auctions, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have opened the doors to a new generation of collectors. That's why coins like the 1992 close AM are not only valuable now, but may continue to appreciate. So, the next time you get change at the store, or you're digging through your old piggy bank, pay close attention. That simple little penny marked 1992 might be a sleeping treasure. 0.1 cent could be worth $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 or more, and you'll never know unless you look. Take your time, check your coins, and if you're serious, grab a coin loop and start hunting. Because real treasure isn't always buried in the ground, sometimes it's already in your pocket. If you found this video helpful and exciting, hit that like button to help more people discover the world of rare coins. Subscribe for more deep dives into valuable coins, currency tips, and real-world treasure you might already own. And if you think you found a 1992 close AM, drop a comment below and tell us about it. Who knows, your penny might be the next big discovery. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and check your change. Because every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune.